Whoa, BMore4Real. We are in here, man. BMore4Real.
Absolutely. Wednesday again, bro?
Another one. It's like
it
another
Wednesday
one.
again?
It's like another one.
Hey,
it really
look,
is.
If it's Wednesday. And we got the guests for you this Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, man. And it wouldn't be a special Wednesday without a special guest, you know.
And Uncle Wayne, hold up. Uncle Wayne here too. Don't forget me. I'm here and it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Hey,
and I'm your co-host, OMG Danny. Y'all know what it is, man. If this is your first time viewing, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. You know it's the realest conversation on that. Rated R for reality. Where's my brother Mo? Let's go ahead and clap that up.
Absolutely. It's BMore4Real and it's Wednesday. And it's R for what?
Rated R for reality.
Reality.
Yes, sir. We got a special guest with us. We got a very special guest with us. Have Maxie Franklin III, man. Introduce yourself to the people and let them know who you be. That's what we say. Who you be?
Who you be? And again, welcome to BMore4Real.
Thanks to the mic. Thank you. So my name's Maxie Franklin. You can just call me Maxie. I am what? You want me to say?
Yeah. Just introduce yourself and spend a whole hour with us, sir.
So my name's Maxie Franklin. I'm a Baltimorean. I've been born and raised in Baltimore. I'm from Park Heights community, actually.
Okay.
Shout out to 1-5.
Born and bred. No matter where I lived at in the world, I always wanted to come back to Baltimore. I currently I do mental health therapy, psychiatry for a living. I've been doing that for close to 30 years. I've been doing some form of counseling or therapy for
30 years. First of all, tell them how
years.
old you are. If you've been doing that for 30 years, you know their next question.
And let's get that BMore4Real. Let's get that first slide going too as well.
I am 53 years old.
Look at my brother.
Yeah. I don't look it, but I'm gonna go home and sleep like I am.
So finish it out. You have a mental health.
Yeah, so I have an outpatient mental health clinic. It's located in the Bel Air Edison community. It's called Myrtle J. Scott Franklin Network LLC. We do mental health therapy, psychiatry, and we do health home. So we do the whole gamut. We do therapy with the clients. We provide clients psychiatry or medication services. We also provide clients with health screenings and medication that they need for their health issues, for chronic health issues such as diabetes, high blood pressure, so on and so forth. Our agency is kind of unique because we monitor our clients. And we work primarily with indigent population or clients that have severe mental health disorders or substance use disorders. And what makes us unique is that we provide transportation and we make sure that we contact clients prior to their appointments and we pick them up. We always provide these services and we're open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday.
Absolutely.
This is amazing. You actually have a full service. Listen, tell us more. Because listen, a lot of times people think it's just a small spot. Look what you got.
So no, we have so we cater to the community, and our primary purpose is to help people that suffer from severe mental health disorders reintegrate back in the community or integrate in the community. A lot of times in our community, a lot of our clients or a lot of people don't know that there's help out there or don't know that there's help out there for people that look like them. All right. So although we have cultural sensitivity, where we have African American therapists, but we also have Caucasian therapists, male and female. So we cater to the complete population that's out there.
What made you get into mental health? Listen, us as black men, come on, that's something we mostly skip over. So what made you really get in? Because you dug into it in order to have an organization that in depth.
So the real story is that, and I'm gonna try to be brief with it.
No, listen, I told you we got an hour, and mental health and black men take
Yeah,
your
that's gonna be
time.
our topic of the night.
Yes, absolutely.
Explain further.
So to be honest with you, well, the name of my program is called Myrtle J. Scott Franklin Network LLC. Myrtle J. Scott is actually my mom, and my
Okay.
mom was brilliant. And I don't even really know if my mom understood that she was training us or breeding us to understand mental health disorders. So when we were younger, my mom was going to Coppin State College and she was getting her degree in psychology, a bachelor's degree in psychology. And it was three boys. So, boys roughhouse, they mess up stuff. And for punishment, my mom used to make us read her psychology books. So the thing about the psychology books is that she would make us read them and write reports. And believe it or not, today me and my brother believe that we were doing my mother's homework for her. That's the truth.
How interesting.
But as time went on, I noticed that my mom started to be a little quirky. And just to cut through the chase, uh, my mom died from a direct result of a misdiagnosed mental health disorder.
Mm.
So instead of them
How
treating,
ironic.
so instead of them treating my mom for a mental health disorder, they were treating my mom for symptoms of the mental health disorder, and her life was not getting better. Um, I was in the military at the time. I came home when my mom died, and I said, "We need to do something about it, or I
Yeah.
need to do something
Thank you
about
for
it."
your service as well.
And that's when I dedicated my life to that. Um,
That was the turnaround. Right.
yeah,
Think about that. Your mom put the foundation and didn't even realize. Isn't that amazing?
in reality, in reality, people tend to try to find what their paths are in life, and a lot of people find their path.
Listen, I don't bite my tongue on those degrees, and they pat us on the back and say, "Yeah, it's everybody else's fault but yours." And then we run around, and then we think we're cured, and then we out shooting and killing everybody else because that's not it.
Okay, hold on.
Mental
Let's
health, we
pause
got
real
to
quick.
deepen.
Let's pause real quick. The live had got interrupted
Oh
for some
wow.
reason. So a
Uh-oh,
lot of the
uh-oh.
conversation that we just had, they didn't even hear it, but it was still going. So we had some technical difficulties behind the scenes. But let's revisit. Let's revisit. I think maybe it
What,
might
what?
have went off around the time where you were talking about exactly what inspired you, and you were talking about your mom and how
OMG.
I
Talk
think
about Satan.
yeah.
That
I,
was
I think
Satan.
I think that's around the time when it cut off around the
That was
time when you were
Satan.
talking about your mom and how she made you guys read the psychology books. and stuff like that.
But guess what? That's in your soul, so you can just do that again.
Yeah, I just talked about how.
So once again, what inspired you to get into mental health? Hey, listen, God knows that our black folks need to hear this. This is very important.
And my son Devin, by the way, he joined the stream. He said, "What's up, y'all?" He the one that told us the live is paused.
Right.
So he the one that let us know we had technical difficulties. We appreciate you,
Young King.
A lot. We appreciate you a lot.
The Young King caught that.
So, and what I was telling you guys is, I think my mom was breeding us to understand mental health at a young age, because my mom was going to school at Coppin State College, and she was getting a degree in psychology. And because we were mischievous as young men, what she would make us do is punishment is read her psychology books and write reports on it, and that's what she did. And over the years, I wasn't really interested in it, but I actually understood it. But my mom, over the years, she started to appear to be quirky. Like, a lot of the things that she was doing just didn't seem, it was abnormal.
And you said it was like a misdiagnosis of a diagnosis. Could you explain that as well?
Yeah.
So what happens is, my mom's mental health diagnosis, she was misdiagnosed, and instead of them looking at the mental health disorder for what it is, they treated symptoms. And what they was by them treating symptoms, what it did was the medications that they was getting to treat her symptoms made her disorder worse, and it also does damage to other organs in the body.
But they didn't, because they didn't know back then.
They didn't understand mental health as good as they do now. Really, in reality, people understand mental health more now.
They still need a lot
since the pandemic has happened. Since the pandemic, people has been more serious about mental health
and more research.
And it's always been the same research.
They haven't improved the research.
So a lot of things they talk about now is different neurochemicals in the brain affect different different symptoms. So what happens is, now we know that there are different medications that it's a term called cross addictive. All right, so I'm gonna explain it to you. So cross addiction is when you're addicted to one drug in that family, you're addicted to all drugs in that family. All right, that's cross addiction. So what happens is, if you're addicted to heroin, but you never use fentanyl, or you never use codeine, or you never use morphine, you still have a tolerance for that, even though you've never used it, because they all are in the same family.
Yeah, okay.
That one particular drug that I'm talking about actually affects a neurochemical called endorphins. Mm-hmm. What happens is, you have a certain amount of this chemical inside your body that helps you keep a normal, natural balance. Mm-hmm. When you start to put other chemicals in your body, like the opioid, morphine, heroin, cocaine, it starts to deplete the chemical. It takes the place of it. Mm-hmm. See, people don't understand the reason why we experience withdrawals is our body's natural way of saying that we have an imbalance. But because you know that you don't feel well, you start equating that with, I need to put more heroin inside of me. The more heroin that you put inside of you depletes more of the chemicals. All right? So say, for instance, the day you decide to get clean. All right? That doesn't necessarily mean that your endorphins level is going to go back up. So now we have to give you something to give you so that you can have a natural balance. That's why people give you different medications, such as Suboxone, such as buprenorphine, methadone, in order so that you can function normally. So let's go back to mental health. So the thing about mental health disorder, or the neurochemicals that's inside the body, when those chemicals are depleted, you have an abnormal balance. And what we're trying, or what mental health or psychiatry tries to do, is it tries to help you establish a normal balance so that you can function back in the community like a normal person.
Right.
Which I think is better than the chemicals, because if you you got to depend on more chemicals for that same reason. Some people had to, like that cold turkey. You understand? I think that's part of the problem. But people say, I know alcoholism. That I understand. You have to do because I know that can be deadly.
Yes.
But the rest of them, you don't die. You just feel like
You
you
feel
want to
like
die.
you feel like you want to.
You understand? So stop trying to feed that because I found out in that situation they want to be fed. They spoil brats.
So in reality, before we even go to that far ahead, uh, so let me just make myself clear.
Pick and choose.
All right, let me just make myself clear. I am not an advocate for or against a person using or a person not using alternative medication to help them stay clean. Let me say that because it works for some people and it doesn't work for other people. Some people abuse it and some people take it the way that it's supposed to be taken. So what I want to say is this: the core of the actual disease has to be figured out why a person feel like they need to use this in order to alter their perception of life. And most often, if you look at it, it's a lot of trauma that starts to happen early on in people's lives. Whether it's something that you would consider simple right now, is could be something as simple as being able to fit into their peer groups. All right. So there's a lot of people that feel like that they are outcasts. They are socially awkward. All right. They may have big ears. They may be slim. They may be fat. They may have a bigger head. They don't have the clothes like everybody else have. So they try to find a way to fit in with their peer group so that they can be accepted. And a lot of times, the only way that they feel like they can be accepted is to do what the peer group is doing or what the older people are doing, and that's to use the drugs and alcohol just so that they can fit in. But that's an esteem issue. And a lot of times, that esteem issue is never addressed, and people continue to use that. You ever hear of a person that, or people peak, so you can be in high school right now, and you can be on the varsity football team. You can be a letterman. Everybody know your name. You can be prom king and go off and date the prom queen. But then you're 30 years old, and your life is just a normal life, and you still hold on to that stuff back then because your whole life is tied up to who you used to be. You have not actually matured yet.
Awesome monologue. We're gonna go ahead and clap it up. We got a comment, man. Bobby B said, Bobby B is back.
Yeah.
We appreciate you,
You better
Bobby
get
B,
some
man, in the
comments,
building, man. In the building. Appreciate you guys. Definitely for joining the stream. We got brother Maxie Franklin the third here, man. As you can tell, he has a lot to talk about. And you know, we already had the topic.
Hey, listen, he done built it from the ground up. It's his specialty.
We already had the topic of the night, so if we can just go ahead and switch over to the topic of the night. That would be fine. You know, we're talking about mental health and black men, but we can also just generalize it as well. You know, since we're already hitting on that, we're already hitting on drug abuse, we're already hitting on a lot of things. Let's go ahead right into it.
Okay, so come on.
No, go ahead.
Tell me what the topic is.
Mental health and black men, but we'll say mental health and black people as well. One thing I would say to get the conversation started is that I think a lot of the mental health issues that we face can't be fixed by the medications that they give. That was one thing that you were talking about earlier, because medications are not made for cures. They have no cure for, you know, all these things. The cure is actually putting in the work physically, you know, as a person and doing the work as a person. What do you call it? Shadow work or something like that. That's basically when you work on yourself behind the scenes, when nobody see you, that work that you put in and that drive and that capacity. But I would definitely say that, you know, not only is mental health not curable, but I think a lot of times, and I know people don't believe biblically, but according to my opinion, I think a lot of times it's demons. Like they wrestle with with demons. You understand what I'm saying?
You saying mental health not curable or the addiction of drugs?
ADHD, schizophrenia, none of them have cures.
You don't think it's curable?
Well,
Who me?
Do
I
you
would
or
say
do
the
you?
care. I
Which
would say
one?
the care is that self work I was talking about, but that was just a conversation starter. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of the
But do
mental
you
health.
believe that you can't be cured from
There's
mental?
no cure for
Uh,
any mental health disorder, none. And like he said though, as well, they say it's just a chemical imbalance, and they try to balance the chemical out. But those chemicals that they impart in you have side effects as well. I mean, just all medicines have side
I
effects
agree.
that like
I agree.
it just
My
sometimes it's
thing
not
is
good.
that, and what you were saying about, and just to piggyback on something on what you said about it not being curable. No, I don't agree that it's curable. What I think is that mental health can be managed with medication and therapy and behavior modification.
Mm.
Behavior modification is really important when it comes to a person that has the same routine, that has the same thought pattern, that has the same way of going and doing things. So, for instance, if I give you medication for your mental health disorder, but you're still in the same mind frame, then you are not, the medication is not going to work the way that it's supposed to. And that's why a lot of people think that the medication don't work, because they don't change the behavior, or they don't have a different way of thinking when it comes to their way of life, right? So yeah, you're absolutely right. A person that has schizophrenia, it's a little different, and the term that you use is that they wrestle with demons. The thing is that a lot of people with schizophrenia do believe that they have and I want to be I just want to be sensitive to this topic. They do believe that they have a supernatural connection to a higher power,
Okay.
where they are the antenna. They have the antenna to something more intelligent than what we are.
maybe
Oh,
it's true.
wow.
And that's what's funny. That's what's funny, Wayne, because in some cultures they believe that. They really believe that is a, it's a natural state, and they find jobs and things for them to do that works, that coincide with their mental health disorder. So yeah, culturally, it's accepted it's accepted in some cultures. But the thing about the management part is we gotta figure out if the client feels as though that what he's having is a delusion. So as a therapist myself, I never negate whether or not what they're having is true or false. I just let them try to tell me what's going on.
Right.
Do
And you
anybody else?
respond accordingly. That's awesome. We're gonna go ahead and clap that up. Number one, we got another comment, man. We got some comments coming in. Um, Brother Bobby B said, "Welcome, Mr. Franklin. Welcome, welcome, welcome." And he also said, "Yes, a manager. I believe it takes understanding of the disorder, the triggers, about." He said a lot of love and patience. He said as well. He said, and they may have a connection that we are not built to comprehend. So
So Wayne,
a
it
lot
says,
of a lot of good things. We appreciate you, brother Bobby B. Man, we
Bobby
definitely
B. Bobby
appreciate you.
B.
yeah, thank you, Bobby B. You know what's funny is that when you went on your rant, you say, yeah, they put us on these couch and these white people try to tell. You know what? I, and I just wanna say this because it kind of hit me. So the last job that I had, and I'm not going to say the name of the company that I work for,
All right, listen, I'm 61.
but
Ain't no road I've been down.
because I'm friendly with the people. But I remember us being in a clinical staff meeting, and my specialty is trauma-based therapy, intimate part,
Trauma based
yeah,
therapy.
Mm.
intimate partner violence, or domestic
Right.
violence therapy. And I was like, you know what? I want to hold a domestic violence or intimate partner violence group, and I was told by my white counterparts that that wouldn't work for me. And the reason why it wouldn't work for me is that women wouldn't want to come to the group and listen to a man. That's the first thing. And then I was like, okay, so let's just have a male group. And she went on to say that trauma based therapy works better when it's a white woman working with a
Whoa.
black male. Some words,
Oh, Kimosabi.
in order so that they can feel more vulnerable inside of the therapy session. They can learn better from us. So in one sense, she was saying that I couldn't treat women because they are going to be fearful of me. In the second sense, she was saying that I couldn't treat black people because they wouldn't want to open up to another black person.
So, you
what
damn
good
if you
are
do,
you?
damn if you don't.
Right. What good were you?
So, and that's when I started thinking culturally, that's one of the reasons why we don't trust systems such as mental health. You know what? Statistic wise, when it comes to intimate partner violence, system wise, when it comes to intimate partner violence, African American women are the least likely to contact the police when they're in domestic situations. Do you want to know why?
And that is.
The reason why is because they fear that the system is going to be worse on the man than what it is if she called the police on him. So,
And they'll use the flip
but
side of the coin
but
too,
the
though.
counterparts, white females will call the police in a heartbeat.
When it's necessary.
It's
I
only
got you.
because they know that the system works for them. And we always have felt that the system worked against us. So once I started saying, how can we change this? What I started saying is that we need more African American therapists so that we can actually treat our own people.
You know what's funny and you
We
know what's
do.
crazy? We're gonna clap that up for
Yeah,
you
we
as well. Let's go ahead and
applause
clap
on
it
that
up.
one. It's true.
We're gonna go ahead and clap it
Well
up.
said.
You know
Well
what's
said.
amazing? Like, I had a therapist, right? And they first recommended me to a older white woman therapist or whatever. And she was cool. She offered some good information or whatever, but she can only connect with so much. You understand what I'm saying? As a black man and all this other stuff, like we just on total opposite. You're a white woman, I'm a black man. Like that's opposite of opposites. You feel what I'm saying? So, but she did have good information. But then they connected me to a black woman, who happens to be African. And yeah, I actually like her though. You know what I'm saying? She's a good therapist. You feel what I'm saying?
Good.
She's she's
Wrong
straight
with
up. You know what
talking
I'm
to
saying?
somebody.
And it's just a difference though. But
It
I'm
is.
like, is there any black male therapists in
And,
this realm? And it's
and
not. It's not though. You know
we
what I'm
are
saying?
unicorns. Black male therapists are unicorns in this system. Good.
I this part wears me thin. Our therapists are our grandfathers and uncles and all this. Going to senior citizens, they might be drinking a little bit and talking some things, but that's our history. That's our therapy. They've been through some things. That's our
That was
history.
that, and you used the right word. That was our histories. We understand culturally because of the ages that we are, that we got most of our counsel through churches, our preachers. We got it through our elders. But nowadays, the culture is not to go to someone older and listen to what they say because society says that you should be able to fix your own problems.
And we can. We need to. But see, the thing about it is, we going to say we'll judge them as who they are, and it's not meant to. That's why God says, stop judging people. Listen to them. Listen to what they've been through, and a little advice sometimes, and it can clean and change your life. Because somebody go through college and they got a theory, that don't mean they can tell you anything to resolve your issues. You need that spirit. You need something you've been through to change who you are. Listen, your journey, your destiny, it's all a connect. It is no simple answers to your life. It don't
Well,
work like
there are
that.
certain things though
You
in
gotta
life.
understand your life is
There are,
important. It's connections. It's
there,
a journey.
there are certain
You
psychological though
important.
stuff, and we talk about mental health. Some stuff is really psychological. Like, and I like how you say you were a trauma therapist, and who better to talk to you than a trauma therapist? A lot of stuff that we do as black people, period, especially black men, we operate from a trauma standpoint. See, people don't fail to realize, even our everyday lives. Like, I could talk to you. Okay, let's say for instance, in Baltimore, with me and my homeboys, in the modern day, we like, yeah, man, what's up, dummy? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? We talk to each other like that, but there's no way you're
Hate
going to the
that word.
workplace like that. You know what I'm saying? When you get on the phone for an interview and all that stuff, you have to do what they call code switching. And code switching is actually a trauma response. And that information is passed down through our epigenetics though.
It
That's
is.
genetic
It is.
information. So we know now that we can't talk like that around certain folk in a certain setting. You know what I'm saying? That it's not applicable, which rightfully so. I'm not saying.
You were saying it goes back
rightfully so.
But it's still trauma. It's still
we
trauma.
Never,
it's still operating off a trauma standpoint.
But
like you're saying, when a woman feel threatened.
But listen to
hold
this.
on, one more
you
thing.
Said rightfully so.
Right.
Remember,
rightfully
it's
so.
Not rightfully so. Who say that we have to change for them?
I'm just saying.
No. I think the point that and correct me. I think that culturally, the trauma is so deeply embedded in us that we don't even recognize it as trauma. That's the first thing. Because it's so natural for us to act the way that we act that we don't understand that there's something wrong with us. Perfect example. I remember when I was young, I remember watching a news report on Channel 13 News about the people being relocated from Murphy Homes projects. You remember Murphy Home projects?
Oh my goodness!
I remember when
Murphy Home,
and they had the news report of these people from Murphy Homes being taken to suburban neighborhoods, and the people in the neighborhoods was like, "What is wrong with these people?" But in reality, these people didn't know that it was something wrong with them. Like, and I'm not saying that it was something wrong with them, but what these suburban people was like, they cooking out outside, they cussing, they throwing trash all over the place. And I couldn't figure that out when I was younger, but in reality, people live in a situation their whole lives where they don't even know that the situation that they living in is wrong.
And that's another issue, because growing up as a black man, and when you know certain things and you grow up in that environment, you don't know certain things is wrong. But according to the law, ignorance of the law does not avoid you from the penalties from breaking the law. You know what I'm saying? Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. That's what they tell you, and that's how they track. Right.
Because my mom whipped my ass with a switch when I was younger.
Right.
I think it's okay for me to beat my child with a switch.
Their ass need to be whipped.
I think
but that's a whole nother law. Their ass need to be whipped.
But culturally, that is true.
But that's white man who made that law. But
that culturally is wrong. It's wrong, period.
But they say you can't whip his ass, but the police can whip the fuck out of him.
No, it's more to it than that.
But how crazy is that? But sometimes as a child, you gotta put your hands on them. And
I don't necessarily believe that. I can't agree with that.
You might have a child that you never had to put your hands on because they have a child. You might have a child that you had to not beat them, but sometimes you got to put that hand on them. You got some child you do. They hard head, sneaking and try to do something. You do as a father. You know the difference. Boy, don't let me at it, but you know the difference. You ain't gonna kill them and abuse them.
Why can't we ask them a question?
That's some of them.
My theory is
you're gonna have a child that you can ask a question.
I agree. Sometimes to some
certain
extent.
child, you have one. But you can ask a question.
I think that should happen early on. Like when a child is like 3 and you know what I'm saying, 3 to 5, they can't talk like that and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right. But when the older they are, the more you should be able to talk to them.
It's the child
and see why it is they doing what they're doing. Right.
You know your child.
Kevin Hart said that his son touched the stove and he burnt his hand. And he said every time he go to the stove now, he say, hot, daddy. It's the behavior modification.
That's what I said.
The thing is,
that's what I said.
Some children. That's why we teach them that. When they take after you tell them, no, don't take the cookie, what we do is it's appropriate punishment for that action.
And if
you can't whip an ass because
I bet you see that's
they want an extra cookie.
If I say don't do, if you go back there again, see there's a difference. You see when you have different children, you know the difference between the two. That's why you are guiding. Some you talk to, some you tap that hand. That's why God gave you the children.
I agree with that. Now hold on. We got some comments.
I forgot health. That's why you balance them out.
I forgot we got some comments, man. Sorry about that. Look, Bobby B said, consider our loved ones who endure dementia. We become frustrated and angry with their thought patterns because we don't meet them where they are. He also said our anger and frustration causes those with dementia to act out as well. So that is a very great and unique point. You know what I'm saying? But these are not Bobby B.
Bobby B, you know what? That is a real. You know what? I follow a guy on Instagram because I have been interested in dementia, and it's this thing called sunlighting where as the sun starts to go down, they starts to get people with dementia starts to get irritated and aggravated because they don't know where they at, they don't know what's going on. They start to get sad, and in some cases they start to get aggressive because they don't understand what's happening. One of the things is, and Bob, you're absolutely right. We have to be patient. We have to remember that we gonna have to keep repeating ourselves. We can't tell them no. That's the worst thing to tell a person that has dementia is no. What we do is we say, let's try to find a way to make that happen. By the time you go back in the house and sit down and you say, well, let me get you a snack and then we'll go take care of that, they'll forget about that last thing that they talked about. And then you can start trying to get them oriented back to time, place, and an event.
That seemed like that's some type of punishment or something.
What
It's just
dementia?
dementia.
Bobby B said it's sundown syndrome.
Yes, that's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Bobby B.
Yeah.
But
It's,
just
I said
imagine
something
having
like
to have
that, Bobby.
parents that you actually have that don't even. My mom got dementia. It was just a short period in between it, but we never got to a point. To a point where for years, where not knowing my brothers and sisters was mad because she always remembered me. She just forgot them. But you understand that was the worst part about it.
That's
Is
because
the
you've
call
been looking the same since you was 21.
about that young man.
That's why.
And she called all the rest of them me. You know what I mean? That's a hurtful feeling with them. They mad as I don't know what. You know what I mean? But that's a thing. It seems like that's torture to not know your own. God.
It's just short term memory. The thing is that they can only remember long term memories, and that short term memory starts to slip away. And so you have to adapt. They don't have to adapt.
Yeah.
You have to adapt.
Yes.
You have to reorient them. You have to reorient them. You have to let them know that certain events took place, and you're gonna say the same thing over and over again.
See,
And
y'all
that's
better
what Bobby
listen to
is
this
talking about.
because you all think this never happened. This is what happens to people that get older, and now it's beginning to happen to people at a younger and younger ages. It's happening to younger ages now.
Well,
Ain't in them
dementia,
older
Alzheimer's,
ages.
all that stuff. A lot of those things have no cure as well. That's what I was saying. A lot of mental
Yeah.
disorders,
And
a
they
lot of
still
things that
have
deal
no
with the brain
cures. They
have,
changed the names
have
though.
no cure. And I understand that a lot of people do have mental health issues, but my point is coming from a different aspect of those people that fake like they do have those, mental health issues, and it makes it difficult for people that,
What you say?
to deal with you because look, bro, I know you're not that. I know you're not like that, but sometimes they may be, and maybe just
You said they
misdiagnosed, like you were
faking it,
saying.
huh?
Maybe they might be
But people,
misdiagnosed.
he's
But
absolutely right. People
like-
do fake symptoms in
Yeah.
order to get out of things, in order to get benefits, in
Mhm.
order to get medications, in order to get sympathy from somebody.
That's an interesting one for me, y'all.
Yeah, that's
why I
my
said
whole thing.
Wayne
It's
thought
family
you knew it
members.
all.
It's family or parents that make their kids feel sick. They keep telling their children. It's a woman that just got released from prison a little while ago. I can't think of her name, and she got a unique name. She just got released from prison, and her mom was making her sick. And what she was doing is she was telling people that
is
she
that
was
Munchausen syndrome?
sick. I think Munchausen syndrome is
What kind of syndrome?
Munchausen syndrome. And excuse me, I can't think of the definition, but it's not Munchausen. I don't think it's Munchausen. It could be. But what they do is they make those people sick so that they can get sympathy and benefits. And that's what this girl was doing. But years later, her and her boyfriend killed their mom.
That's what I'm saying.
She just got
do,
out of-
do you
but
see
she got out
with
of
this
jail.
mental health thing?
This
is
She
insane.
killed the mom. She got out of jail, and the boyfriend got life in prison.
Pretty
Yep.
much deserved it.
Yep. And what's that other one where people tend to identify with their oppressors? They got it from. It's a city in Germany. Stockholm. That's what it's
Stockholm
called.
syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome, where people
What is
identify
that?
with their oppressors, like people
It's
that.
like
And
me
what is
beat my.
that?
Yeah.
It's like me making you believe. It's like me making you believe that I am your friend.
Wait a minute,
It's
I'm a little bit
almost
confused here. Y'all
Yeah.
really
so.
got me for a loop here. Can y'all
So
give
what
me an
happens
example
is
here?
we start taking on the side of the people that's treating us bad. Like Charles Manson, for instance, his followers were considered, a lot of them were brainwashed. In the beginning, a lot of people don't believe it. Is it Pat? I think it's Patty Hearst. I think it's the Patty Hearst case. And if I'm wrong, y'all correct me in the comments. But Patty Hearst was kidnapped. She was kidnapped, uh, and while she was kidnapped, she was being brainwashed by kidnappers, and then she became one of the kidnappers. Like she became one of the people in a part of the group.
Right.
So like when they saw a picture of her later, um, Patty Hearst, when they saw a picture of her later, she was a part of the militant group that kidnapped her.
Right. So that's why we're trying to figure
Yeah.
out was she or
Another
wasn't she?
word for would be
You know?
sympathizing with the oppressor. They got it from Stockholm, Germany, where somebody was coming in robbing a bank or something like that. And what happened is that by the time the hostages that were in the bank got out, none of them wanted to tell on the people that robbed the bank because I guess they coerced them and they had like a charisma and charm to win over the people that they actually held hostage, and none of them wanted to give up who those robbers, bank robbers was, and that's when they coined the term Stockholm syndrome.
That's a heck
And it
of a
happened in Stockholm,
self-attack.
Germany.
Yeah,
We
that's
also
like
got a comment. We got another comment, man. Let's keep up with the comments for 1 second. Brother
Absolutely.
Bobby B he said most are transitioning to their next journey. They call on and talk to those loved ones who are leading and guiding them.
yeah.
If you don't take it personal, you can learn a lot about them and your history. He said, "What you know?" He said, "Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven?" As the song goes, would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? As the song goes, we appreciate you, Bobby B, man, for real. We're gonna keep it
All
locked with us. Let's go ahead
righty.
and clap it up as well.
All right.
Let's
Now,
go ahead and clap it up.
this is the question I need to have. Do you believe that drug addiction and mental health is one of the same thing?
Do I believe that one causes the other?
Because I kind of think that a lot of times people with mental health use drugs to get rid of the mental health. I
In some
used to.
cases that's true, but in some cases it's not true. Some people start using substances just for self enjoyment, just to enhance their
Right,
experience in
right.
life. But in reality, the question is, why would you continue to use something that you know could kill you? So people start equating that statement that I just made with it has to be something wrong with you. So it has to be a mental health disorder there. A lot of times people don't even know that if they continue to use drugs, they can die. They don't believe that. They don't
Right.
know how much damage the substance that they use do to their body. Like we can turn this into different categories of substances and different chemicals in the brain that it affect. And you got billions and billions of brain cells, and what drug it does the more damage to the cells in your brain. But we don't want to do that because we're not here to scare people. I don't want to scare people, but I want to let you know that I want to say this, and this is my personal opinion. I really believe that using drugs dumb down your community. And you know what? You know who told me that? My grandmother told me that. And I got it written down. I wrote a paper. I went to Sojourner Douglas. And
Mm.
You know that
I went to Sojourner Douglas, and we had to do an interview on one of the oldest people in my family, in your
I
family.
think we both had that task,
And
did
I
we?
did one on my grandmother and one on my wife's grandmother. And the one on my grandmother, I remember her telling me that she told me a story, and then she went to the riots And she said that after the riot, she noticed personally that our communities had just started getting flooded with drugs. It was there before the riots, but no sooner riots happened, drugs started to become real hot in the community. And my grandmother said she always believed that that was so that it can dumb down the people in the community so that they couldn't protect themselves. Because the Black Power movement was so important in the African or in the black people, colored people communities at that time that they had to do something in order to regain power.
Wow.
We're gonna go ahead and clap that up.
Yeah. He
Hey,
need applause for that. That
one
was
second.
deep.
We're gonna
That
clap
was
that
deep.
up.
Some love on that one. Yeah.
We appreciate all our streamers and viewers. One thing that we want to do really quickly is let all of our viewers know about some quick promotions really quickly, man. Spring into summer, man. Elevated
We got
Essence
our
presents
events coming up,
Spring
y'all.
into summer. The vendor announcements will be coming soon. Enjoy your music, food, creatives, wellness, support Baltimore local businesses, man. Sunday, June the 30th from 2:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Y'all can see the address on the flyer, man. Make sure y'all go out here and support these businesses. Support our local businesses. Baltimore, support Baltimore, and we're going to support the rest of the country. Shout out my man Brandon as well, man, doing this thing. We're going to go ahead and give him a round of applause. Y'all already know what's up, man. We see the workers, we see the innovators, we see the future right before our eyes. Also, can't forget BMore4Real sponsoring the open mic night, man. Y'all already know
bring
what's
that
up, man.
talent out.
Look, we bringing all the talent out, man, every single Monday.
We know Baltimore got a lot of talent out here, y'all. It's time to bring it on up to the mic, so BMore4Real can tell it all about.
Man, each and every single Monday, the event information is on the flyer. For any more information, feel free to hit us up on Instagram. All of our handles is BMore4Real Podcast. It's BMore4Real Podcast at Gmail. It's BMore4Real Podcast on IG. BMore4Real Podcast on Facebook. Make sure y'all go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. We on that road to 1K. We gonna go ahead and clap it up, man. We gonna go ahead and clap it up. But Maxie Franklin III, man, you got a lot of powerful information to talk about, and it's been quite the hour almost that we've been talking.
Tell us a little about the family. That's what we want to hear about.
My family?
Yeah, that foundation.
They good.
That foundation.
Actually, my family's good. It's me, my wife, and my dog right now.
Okay.
We see the dog. We love the dog.
And I posted my wife also. My wife is actually in.
How long you all been married?
Shit. So we ready to come up. We ready to come up on
This is what
we ready to come up on 7 years. But man, my wife been together really since I was 19 years old.
Friends.
No, it's a funny story, man. My wife went to school together, but we never saw each other in school.
Listen, we gotta tell us. Let's go here.
Crazy.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
We got the same friends, and we know the same people. And one day I was with one of my homeboys that I went to junior high school with, and he said that I was with him. My wife came, and I turned. I was like, "Hey, honey," and she looked, and he was like, "Oh my God!" And he said her name. I'm not gonna say her name here, but he said her name, and I was like, "You know him?" She was like, "We went to school together," and I know she went to my school. But I'm like, I used to run with this girl. She was like, what? We used to be with each other every day. So I really believe that God put his blinders so that she couldn't see me and I couldn't see her. Because if we probably would have saw each other during those times, we wouldn't have been able to make a connection.
Whoa, you hear that?
Man,
that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
And
shout
out to you, your wife, and your family, and the 7 long years of marriage, man. It's just awesome.
It had to be the long years, sir. Look at him.
It is because it is a long
thing. Yo, man, with these birds.
7 years is a long time.
Look at
I just imagine being locked up for that time. Imagine 7 years of your life being taken. I'm like,
it's been beautiful.
No, that time go by slow.
That time, you know what? What's funny is that me and my wife had the conversation the other day. We was talking to my aunt on the phone, And my aunt was like, I can't believe you still with that knucklehead. And she was like, she said, I'm just trying to get over this 7 years right now.
That's called a 7-year itch,
My
though.
wife
That's why.
actually is like, I got a lot of people and a lot of really intelligent people in my life. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like my wife doesn't have a degree. Like my wife has been on the same job for like 27 years.
Wow.
But my wife really is the smartest person that I've ever met in my life.
That's
And
how
she,
it be.
You need
and that's
applause
the
on that.
truth.
This is a black man that said
That's
his
the truth.
brother. Did you hear
I'm
that again?
really intelligent. And I'm not even going to play with you. I can read a book,
Some
comprehend
true
it,
blessings,
and
my
spit it
brother.
out to you. But my wife has what you call, my wife has more than just common sense. If there's a problem, a complex problem that's going on with me, and I explain it to my wife is so simplistic with the answer
That's
that it
intelligent.
blows me away.
That's intelligent. That's
So
what that
I
is.
really appreciate the woman, and I'm not saying this. I'm not in no trouble, and I tell her this all the time. I really appreciate the woman that God placed in my life. That God
Bless,
placed in my
brother.
life.
Oh man, we gonna
That's
clap
bless.
that
You
up.
need applause on that. Do you hear that? This is what I'm talking about. You understand? You see his mental health is all right. You understand? Because you hear his comments. You hear what he say. You understand? This is what makes us powerful. Because together we stand.
We coming up on a little bit of time here, but give the people some words of wisdom, especially those that may be dealing with mental health issues. No matter where they at, based on your expertise and how you've been helping people.
Words of wisdom.
What's something that you would want the people to know right now today?
Oh wow! Uh, what's funny is that community is real important. And I don't mean go outside. You have to open up to your neighbor, but a lot of times we don't have people to talk to. And the reason why we don't have people to talk to is because we can't trust everybody with our things. So what I suggest to people that is struggling with mental health or want somebody to talk to reach out to a therapist or reach out to a professional or reach out to a pastor or a cousin, someone that can just listen to you. And for those people that are listening, you don't always have to have a response after someone says something to you.
Bam.
A lot of times people just need to be heard.
There you go. There you go. Boy, that was
That was awesome. That was awesome. If people ever so wanted to, get in contact with you and figure out what things you have going on, or just want to tell you how much they appreciate you, where can people find you at? Is that you want to give them that information?
I'm over your
So-
Facebook. You want to send me your Facebook? How about your Facebook? You see
No,
them lovely
so-
outfits and the wife and the dogs too. You know what I mean? You see a little bit of it all.
So you can get me at myrtlejscott.com.
Slow it down. Say it again one more time for the people.
Myrtle, Myrtle J Scott SCOTT.com. That's our website. You can go on there and you can find information about our program. You can actually make appointments there. You can give suggestions on there. Or you can call my office at 410-488-9000. And we provide services for every walks of life. I think our youngest client is 7 years old right now. So it's 7 and above. So we do adolescents, we do young adults, we do psychiatry, and we do a health home. I want to also say this we do medication management, which is medication for people that have psych disorders, and medication assistance for people that have substance abuse disorders. But we don't we weed out people that are looking for medication. You understand that? So it's a population of people that want to go to agencies that conjure up symptoms
Yep.
so that
Just
if
to
you
get the
want that-
medication.
Like we just talked about earlier.
yeah,
Yep.
if you want that, don't call me because Our therapists and our
Understandable.
psychiatrists are trained professionals, and they'll be able to weed that out. But if you want somebody to talk to, man, you call us. If you call
That's
us, we
all
will
love.
have you an appointment in
Oh,
48 hours.
Did you hear that?
yeah,
Say
man,
that
that's
one more
awesome.
time.
If you call us, we will have you an appointment in 48 hours.
Yeah, man, that is
Give her
awesome.
applaud
We're gonna
again.
go nice round of applause.
Frank man, can you see?
Man, it's
Oh,
BMore for
man.
real. That's the realest conversations on the net. Realest conversations anywhere. Rated
That's
R
it.
for reality.
Another
I mean,
beautiful
you just
Wednesday,
won't find
another
a
BMore
conversation
for
any
real.
better than this. Make sure y'all hit that like, share, subscribe. We on our road to 1K for real.
Bang.
Look, join us on the Mondays for the open mic nights. Y'all see the information on flyer. If y'all don't get it, if y'all haven't got it, hit us up. The summer event, spring into the summer. Let's go ahead and follow all these people. We appreciate you, brother Maxie Franklin, for coming out and kicking it with the cast, man. We definitely appreciate you.
Yeah.
Man, I am your co-host, OMG Danny.
I am Uncle Wayne. Thank you for joining us and our special guest,
Maxie Franklin.
Be blessed, people.
Catch
Be
you
blessed.
next Wednesday. Let's go.
Boom.